Hi, I'm For Love. In today's tutorial, we'll be taking a look at the June 6 Spire Turia. We'll be developing a kick-ass pad sort of sound that kicks ass. So if you want to stay tuned and follow along to learn sound design, stay tuned. Those are the simple chords we'll be using for the pad sound. That's what it sounds like on piano, and I'll zoom in and show you how the notes actually look. If you're not used to piano roll, I'll explain that in a future video, but bear in mind, they're just notes on the piano. The first thing that we're going to do is set the synth to its default sound. It's a blank sound or its initialized sound. It is a patch that is easy to build from, but it doesn't sound the best otherwise. Next up comes the digitally controlled oscillator section. This is where you fine-tune the basic parameters of the sound. The first up is the pulse width modulation wave, which can either be a square wave or any length rectangle. Then there's a sawtooth wave in the middle without any settings whatsoever, plus a sub-oscillator, which is a square wave 1 octave below the other two oscillators. Finally, there's the noise, which can add some white noise to the oscillators section, sounding cool when modified with a filter. It adds brightness to the sound. Next up comes the VCF, the voltage controlled filter. What you're trying to do with this is basically adjust the frequency cutoff and the resonance to make it sound great without too much highs, and also with enough highs as well. The frequency cutoff changes the frequency at which the filter starts to activate. It's a negative 24 dB per octave filter, meaning it has quite a steep cutoff, and its resonance knob actually controls right where the filter starts to cut off how much attenuation there is at that point. The more attenuation, meaning the more swoosh or sweeping sound you get, and the higher the volume is around the frequency cutoff. I also am going back to previous stages, twisting some knobs, adjusting some faders, because that is the point of this stage. You just want to slightly modify everything as you go through and try to find the sweet spot so you can build a good sound for later. At the end, we'll go back and we'll fine tune all the different faders until they sound perfect. Here's what it sounds like. Now comes the envelope section. What the envelope does is basically, as soon as a note is triggered or pressed on the keyboard, it begins the attack stage. It lasts for a certain amount of milliseconds that are shown right now. And once that is over, it reaches the second stage and decay, where it decays according to the decay knob to sustained volume. That means if you have sustain at 0.5, it will be half as loud as the peak sound at the peak of the attack stage. The release knob, on the other hand, is the amount of sound that after a note is let go, how long that continues to go on for. So if it's for 1 second, the sound will slowly decay over a matter of 1 second. The envelope is important in shaping your sound so that you don't have too harsh of attack or too short of a release. It can blend notes together and also make them distinct. In this section, I'm adjusting the high pass filter's frequency cutoff. It takes away the low end, leaving room for the bass and the kick. It has 6 dB per octave roll off and is useful for fine tuning the sound. I'm also going back and adjusting other parameters to make them sound as good as they can. Finally, the envelope's modulation of the VCF means that with the envelope is also not only applied to amplitude modulation, but to the filter modulation, meaning that it goes up a bit in frequency as attack, decay, and release stages happen. I added some white noise for a bit of sonic variety, and here's what it sounds like. In this section, I continue to adjust a few parameters, add an LFO, and also play around with the chorus. The chorus, there are only 2 options, are predefined. You can either choose 1, 2, or both, or off. First, I'll try out 1, see what it sounds like, then 2, then maybe both, maybe off. I'm going back and adjusting a few parameters, such as the envelope and the DCO, to make sure that it sounds its best. And right now I'm adding a bit of wobble into the filter. What an LFO does is oscillate at low frequencies and enables you to modulate sounds with a sine wave or other possible waves. This means that you can add modulation and movement to your music. At the end, when everything seems to be well adjusted and it sounds good to you, it's time to fine tune some parameters. Just go back and anything that you think could improve, change it slightly. If it does, keep it. If it doesn't, throw it away and go back to what you had before. One thing that helps with this is turning off the different oscillators and then on to see what they contribute to the sound. I found that without a H-pass filter, it sounds a lot better on the bottom end, a bit less high frequencies for the VCF, and modify the envelope a bit. The whole point of sound design is there's no right or wrong answer. It's what sounds good to you, and with ear training, by designing sounds and listening to music, you'll be a great sound designer in no time. All it takes is a perseverance to learn the skills and then to apply them and create your own sound. One advantage making your own sounds has in EDM is that all the sounds tend to go together a lot better than if you were to say use presets. I highly encourage everyone to make their own sounds. It's a lot of fun, and about the same time as finding a preset that you like, you can have your own original sound, and it's something that you improve at with time too. So have at her and have fun. Remember, if it doesn't sound great,